make sure it's kosher. Lean on me like Bill Withers until you smell the roses. What's happening, fam? L.A.R. movement still moving. Subscribe or die trying. You see the thumbnail, right, man? IQ versus racism. IQ and racism, right? Shout out to Ike and Dr. Thunder. You know, case closed every Sunday at 4 p.m. Eastern. They made me think of a couple of titles today with this conversation we had today. So, people do the IQ test in America, and we talk about IQ. You know, some people have a higher IQ than others, but people forget. You know, the earliest age you can take an IQ test is like 2, and I think it's ideal that you normally take it from 5 to 8 years old. So what does that have to do with you as an adult? That's what people leave out, like especially with race, right? You know, maybe the Negro has a lower IQ. I can say that the schools know, and here's the weird part: the schools know these kids' IQs, whether they be high, whether they be average, whether they be low. You would think that they would teach the high IQ kids higher stuff. That's not what happened. To me, when it comes to IQ and race, if you got a high IQ, they're gonna dumb you down. That's what normally happens. They dumb you down. And then if they're successful, then it becomes maybe they have a low IQ, you know. And some people, IQ is relative to work ethic. You can have a high IQ and a subpar work ethic, and you just come across as stupid. You get what I'm saying? Some people think like this is like your lip. I think from Shameless, where you just some uber genius kid who doesn't really try, and just is smart naturally and blah blah blah. But Lip was making some dumb decisions, right? But that's the stereotype. But let me get into the racial part. See, I was raised in an environment where the teachers would more teachers would sabotage your intellect than train it and expand it. So if you were a smart black kid, no, no, we're not. You're not gonna. You're gonna get an F. You're gonna get a C. You're gonna get a D. You know. Yes, you did good on your homework, but you're not gonna get a good grade from it. You're gonna get a C. You're not gonna get a B or A. And people say, no, that's not true. I told the story once before. Me personally, I was in high school, and me and this other guy, and he was a twin. He was a fraternal twins, not identical. So one twin was a boy, the other was a girl. And the teacher, him and his sister had completely different grades, and they had the same answers because they were study partners. So, so the parents had an issue, and I had already knew that the teacher didn't like black boys in particular, right? So our grades were coming back funny. And what happened was, I looked at this lady, and I'm just saying in high school because, you know, most I can talk about grade school and all that, but it doesn't. I'm saying how far it went. So what happened is the lady was like, you guys aren't doing good. You're not turning in your homework. You're not doing good on your tests. Blah blah blah. And it was like, not turning in homework. We turning in homework. What are you talking about? But the lady didn't know that I was watching her when class was over. So when I was watching her, she was hiding our homework in a separate drawer. So one of those days, I just got fed up. I was like, hey. And she did the you ain't got your homework. I just ran, opened the drawer, pulled out all the homework, smacked it on the table, like, there you go. Now, ultimately, I was a sophomore, and it was a chemistry class. My junior year, somehow, I wound up in physics honors. It was an AP class. I'm like, so y'all gonna put me in this class because y'all know the grade I got, but y'all not gonna give me the grade. Ain't that about it? So that's me. With Ike, I used the story of intelligence as far as IQ in America, where um, they say Thomas Edison invented the light bulb, white guy. Lewis Latimer uh, created how to make the light bulb light, electricity, tungsten, direct current, black guy. Nikola Tesla was um, who got excuse me credit for the alternating current. So I forget if it was J.P. Morgan Chase and Westinghouse basically funded Thomas Edison and Nikola Tesla, and Lewis Latimer left out hanging to dry. And what does that say about his his IQ? They wouldn't have did it without him and his IQ, because there wouldn't be no alternating current if he didn't figure out how to use the elements to have an electric light bulb. And Thomas Edison wouldn't have a light bulb in general, because when you think of the light bulb, you think of it lighting. You don't think of just the glass casing. So IQ and race, right? Then I preface it by saying, because we talked about the sports and thing where we as black guys, we're smarter in sports per se. And I was saying, something I heard a brother say who was like the CEO of American Express. He said, black people are good in sports because everybody watching knows the rules. Everybody can see what's going on. Everybody knows the rules. That's why we're good in sports, because you can't cheat us. I said, but in business, the rules are completely different. They can change at any given moment, and that's the difference. And that has nothing to do with IQ. You get what I'm saying? So when we think of IQ and things happening, this, that, and the third, we skip over the fact that a lot of times when it comes to America and racism, you know, it's really the quote unquote system of white supremacy. It doesn't matter how high your IQ is. Think about Neil deGrasse Tyson. He's like, man, he's an astronomer, he's a physicist, very bright, very smart man. And I remember him once talking about how he's the only one, the only black one, the only one. And he was like, there were other kids coming up that were um, interested in science and this, that, and the third, but he was the one that stuck it out, and the teachers didn't beat down to quit. That's all that was. See, that has nothing. That doesn't really have anything to do with IQ. That has to do with people's perception of what black boys should be. So that's the interesting thing about IQ and race in America. But tell me what you think. Like, share, subscribe, or die trying. Catch y'all on the next one. Peace.